see we're recovering from COVID.
Sergeants, please start the recordings.
Recording in progress.
Good morning and welcome to today's hybrid City Council meeting for the Committee on Finance. This time we ask that council members and staff turn on their video for verification purposes. To minimize disruptions, place cell phones and electronic devices to vibrate or silent. If you have testimony you wish to submit for the record, you may do so. Testimony at council.nyc.gov. We thank you for your cooperation. Chair, we're ready to begin.
Thank you, Sergeant. Let me find something to bang on. Good morning and welcome to today's Finance Committee. My name is Justin Brannon. I'm the chair of the City Council Finance Committee. Today we have 5 items on the agenda: a business improvement district bill and 4 resolutions related to property taxes. So introduction 103 would authorize an increase in the amount to be expended annually in the Sutphin Boulevard Business Improvement District, an extension of the boundaries of such district, a change in the method of assessment upon which the district charge in such district is based, and an increase in the maximum total amount to be expended for improvements in such district. This bill would also provide for the dissolution of the 156th Street Mall Special Assessment District and the dissolution of the Jamaica Center Mall Special Assessment District, which would all then merge into the Sutphin Boulevard bid. Pursuant to both the charter and the administrative code, every year the New York City Banking Commission approves, pursuant to both the charter and the administrative code, every year the New York City Banking Commission approves resolutions recommending to the City Council proposed interest rates for the discount rate for early property tax payment and the rates for non-payment of property taxes. For FY23, the Banking Commission recommends the following rates. For early payment of real estate taxes, a 0.5% discount. For non-payment of property taxes, properties with an assessed value of no more than $250,000, 6%. Properties with an assessed value of more than $250,000, but less than $450,000, 12%, and properties with an assessed value of more than $450,000, 18%. The committee is voting on lower interest rates for the non-payment of property taxes than the Banking Commission's recommendations, but the same as the recommended discount rate by the Banking Commission. So those rates are as follows. For the early payment of property taxes, homeowners would get a 0.5 discount. For the non-payment of property taxes, properties with an assessed value of no more than $250,000, 4%. Properties with an assessed value of more than $250,000, but less than $450,000, 7%. And properties with an assessed value of more than $450,000, 14%. So to be clear, these are less than what the Banking Commission recommended, with the exception of the discount for the early payment, which would be 0.5%. The Banking Commission proposed much higher fines or fees for non-payment of property taxes than what we are suggesting and recommending and proposing today. So let's also be clear that these rates are solely for property owners who do not pay their property taxes. Many property owners have their property taxes automatically escrowed each month as part of their mortgage, and they would not be impacted. If we want to help homeowners who are struggling, we need to come up with a targeted plan to help get them relief. Investors who own properties can absorb paying their property taxes late, and if we don't set any type of penalty for non-payment, they will ultimately be the ones who benefit most, not homeowners. If we want to stay fiscally responsible, we should target relief to the homeowners who need it and not to the big real estate investors. A great example of a targeted relief for struggling homeowners is a rebate that we are pushing for, which would be $150 extra directly in the hands of all middle income primary resident homeowners. And unlike the Bloomberg era rebates, this one would go to homeowners who had fallen behind on their taxes. People are serious about helping struggling homeowners. They should be crafting and introducing legislation that actually helps these homeowners rather than introducing something that ultimately becomes a giveaway for investors. With that, thank you. I will see, are there any questions from members of the committee on today's items? I think Crystal?
Councilmember Hudson has her hand up.
Thank you, Chair and Malcolm. I have a few questions, and I guess maybe based on your statements just now, are you saying that the increase in the interest rates are specifically targeting investment properties or investors and those types of owners, and that, quote unquote, struggling homeowners won't be impacted by this?
And Chair, we also have Emma here from the Finance Department and the Department of Finance on the line. So if you want us to answer some of these questions, we can take those for you.
Sure. I would let Emma chime in, but Councilmember Hudson, it's not only going to target those folks, but the folks that sort of quote unquote get away with paying their property taxes late and really have no regard for these fines are the investors. It's not really the homeowners. Most homeowners have them paid automatically in escrow. And even so, the council is proposing lower rates than what the banking commission, significantly lower rates than what the banking commission proposed. But I can let Emra chime in there for more clarity.
That's correct, Chair Brennan. So the rates would apply equally across the board for all properties with assessments below $250,000, regardless of the owner. So it would apply equally to primary resident homeowners, to investment-owned properties in that class. And as the Chair mentioned, most mortgages require property taxes paid through escrow, and so those homeowners wouldn't necessarily have the ability to delay payments on their property taxes.
Okay, is there a statutory minimum for interest rates for late property taxes? Like, are we required to have them at a certain level? I guess my question is, like, do we have to increase them over what, the FY22 amounts?
Time expired.
No, there's no statutory requirement. I'll also defer to the treasurer who's here if she has anything to add to that.
Good morning. The only thing that I would add to that is that these rates were proposed in view of the fact that our responsibility is to the city, and the view of the penalty rates, we're not talking about tax rates, we're talking about the penalty rates on payments that are not made, are to incentivize early or on-time payment of all taxes. Thank you.
Chair, I know my time has expired, but if with your permission, I have one or two more questions.
Sure.
Thank you. I guess I'm just trying to understand who I understand the argument that, most people most people with a mortgage pay their property taxes on time through escrow. But I guess my concern is that there might be some older folks on a fixed income who might get caught up in this, and we're increasing, the interest rates on those penalties. And I also, totally get the idea of creating systems that help protect and support those homeowners. But I guess I'm just trying to get a better understanding of who might actually be impacted. And so I'm wondering if we have an idea of generally who late property taxpayers are, like historically speaking, who are the folks that are paying their property taxes late or not at all?
Emra, is that something you have?
I don't have the information of who the property owners are exactly. I would defer to the DOF treasurer if she has any information on that. but that information is generally difficult to understand in terms of exact ownership and characteristics of those owners.
I concur. The information is really very, very deep, and it doesn't really point to exactly who was late. I can tell you that the number of late payments doubled last year.
Okay, I mean, I can't help but make the assumption that the number of late payments doubling during a pandemic is probably related to hardship of some sort. But okay, I know I'm well over my time and other folks have their hands up. So thank you, Chair, for the additional time, and thank you all for the answers.
Thank you, Councilmember Hudson. Next, we'll turn to Councilmember Carr.
Time starts now.
Thank you. Just one question for the folks from finance. The deadline for adopting the interest rates for non-payment of real property taxes is at the end of June. Is that correct?
The council has time to make a decision. That is correct.
So there's nothing that requires us to make this adoption today if we wanted to have a more finely tuned program along the lines that's been suggested.
It would be most helpful to have the discount rate approved absolutely today, because people will begin paying their taxes in the next 30 days.
That's fair, but I'm not talking about the discount rate. I'm talking about non-payment rate.
The non-payment rate, sooner is always better than later, because the taxpayers need to know what's going to happen if they miss their deadline.
But the deadline is the end of this month, correct?
Well,
because that's what we did last year.
Right, tax bills will be going out in the next couple of weeks, and they're actually printed this week.
Okay, but at the last year we adopted these rates June 30th, so that's legally permissible.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Carr. Councilmember Velasquez.
Echoing the sentiments of both Councilmember Hudson and Carr, I have some real concerns over the information that we have on hand. First of all, we don't know who is the owner, right, and who is directly impacted. Can we get a breakout at least by borough or by property type? So that is a start for us to understand what is at hand and what we're looking at. Emra, or?
I would defer to Department of Finance if they can pull that information for us. I think they're going to have, they might be able to pull out by property type, but ownership is a little difficult to kind of recognize. They might be able to do some work there, but I'll defer to them on the database that they have.
Well, we did supply some information as far as council districts. It will take more time to assemble further and more in-depth information.
How much longer?
We would need a couple weeks.
Okay, given this crunch that we do have and given the timeline, I really believe that we should work harder to get this information as soon as possible, because this is going to impact a lot of our communities, and we want to be responsible that we're including everyone. And back to Councilmember Hudson's point, when we're looking at this, there are people that are on fixed incomes, and it's to hear that it was doubled last year. It correlates with the fact that a lot of our families are still struggling to make whole from what COVID did. So we don't want to just blanket this and affect so many other families that we're not considering. I do understand that we do want to get folks that use this as a method for just paying another bill, but for a lot of our families, this is very real, and we don't want to impact them, and we don't want to add into the housing crisis that exists. So can we get this closer, and how soon, if we expedite it, can we get it?
I'll have to check back with my folks and see how fast we can put it together. But this is a heavy lift.
I understand, but it's also a heavy lift on a lot of our families that literally can be displaced. So this is of utmost importance for all of us.
Understood.
Thank you, Councilmember. And before we turn to the vote, Chair, for Intro 103, Roxanne Early from the Department of Small Business Services is here to certify for the 4 questions. So, Roxanne, do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth before this committee, and to answer Councilmember questions honestly?
I do.
Thank you. If you just wanted to certify for Intro 103.
Thanks. Good morning, Chair Brandon and members of the Finance Committee. I'm Roxanne Early, Director of the New York City Business Improvement District Program in the Neighborhood Development Division of the Department of Small Business Services. Today, I'd like to report on the result of any objections filed with the City Clerk against the extension of the Sutton Boulevard Business Improvement District, also known as the Downtown Jamaica Bid. As required by law, a summary of the City Council resolution was mailed to the following parties: to each owner of real property within the proposed district at the address shown on the latest city assessment roll, to such other persons as are registered with the city to receive tax bills concerning real property within the district, and to tenants of each building within the proposed district. Furthermore, SBS arranged for the publication of a copy of the summary of the resolution at least once in the city record. At the conclusion of the objection period at 5 p.m. on May 6, 2022, and taking into consideration any objections postmarked by that date, no objections were filed with the City Clerk for properties within the district. This level of objection is within our acceptable threshold needed to advance the bill for a favorable consideration by the full City Council. The Department of Small Business Services supports the extension of the Sutton Boulevard bid in order to realize the unified Downtown Jamaica bid, a community goal identified in the Jamaica Now Action Plan. In our judgment, the proposed merger of the 3 separate but adjacent bids into a singular unified bid will provide the quality and efficiency of will improve the quality and efficiency of businesses and public realm services in the Downtown Jamaica district, and represents the conclusion of years of dedicated work by numerous stakeholders in service to this vibrant community. At this time, I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxanne. Not seeing any councilmember hands up, we will turn it over to the committee clerk, Billy Martin.
Good morning. William Martin, committee clerk. Roll call vote, Committee on Finance. All items are coupled. Chair Brannan.
Billy, just give me a second, okay?
Sure.
Billy, I'm trying to get some information. Can we put us in recess for a minute?
Yes, we can. Sergeants will stand.
Chair, I can't. All right, I won't be able to vote. I have to chair on. I'm on a podium at the hotel.
Okay, Billy, let's take Gail's vote and then let's recess so I can get this information.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it very much. Literally, 2 seconds to go.
Councilmember Brewer on today's finance items.
I vote aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Brewer, and sergeants will stand at ease for a few minutes, please.
Thank you. Council, sorry about that.
One moment, Mr. Chair.
Yep, sorry.
And also, Chair, Councilmember Brooks Powers had her hand up right before we adjourned, so if it's okay, we'll turn to her and then.
No need.
Oh, okay.
Malcolm, before you start, Billy, if you're hearing me, can you call Jeff Baker?
Call Jeff, you said?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, Billy?
Sorry, Chair. So just so everybody knows, we're only going to be voting on Introduction 103, which is the Sutphin Boulevard Business Improvement District, and Pre-Considered Resolution, which it now has a number, 191, establish that the discount, it's a resolution that will establish the discount percentage for early payment of real estate taxes to be set at 0.5% per annum for fiscal year 2023. The other three pre-considered resolutions that are setting interest rates for non-payment of taxes will be laid over and will not be voted on today. So reminding everyone, we'll be voting on Introduction 103, the Business Improvement District, and pre-considered resolution, which has now been assigned number 191, which is establishing the discount percentage for early payment of real estate taxes to be set at 0.5% per annum for fiscal year 2023. And Chair, did you want to say anything before Billy starts the roll call vote?
Thank you, Council. I apologize for the delay. None of these votes are pro forma votes, right? These are important votes, and we expect Department of Finance to have answers to our questions, to what our members need to know in order to make informed decisions and take these votes. We don't just blindly vote on stuff. And if some of these questions could have been answered today, maybe we would be prepared to vote. But because there's information outstanding and there's no time to get it now, we are not going to vote on these items today, and we will we'll look into them further, and we'll vote on these two items, the bid and the discount, and we'll revisit the other items later on. So with that, I'm ready to go.
Thank you. Good morning. William Martin, Committee Clerk. Roll call vote, Committee on Finance on the bid and the discount. Both items are coupled. Chair Brannan.
I vote aye.
No.
Ayala.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Moya.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Powers.
Aye.
Thank you. Lewis.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Brooks Powers.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Barron.
May I be excused to explain my vote? Mr. Chair.
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to highly commend Councilmember Hudson for her very, very intelligent, well-researched, and asked the appropriate questions. I would hope that our chairs would do the same thing, so that before these bills come to us, that our chairs will ask the questions that the council member asked, so that when it gets to us, we will have all the information. But I want to highly commend Councilmember Hudson for the way she presented it, and the manner and the inquisitiveness and the thoroughness of her questions. And it's, to have these unanswered questions was bad, because even in the SPRE program, many senior citizens already paid their mortgage. They already paid their mortgage, so they independently paying taxes. This would have definitely affected them. So I'm just so glad for the Councilmember Hudson and her, and I vote aye on all.
Thank you. Farias.
I vote aye on all.
Thank you. Hanks.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Hudson.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Kagan.
Aye.
Thank you. Osei.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Sanchez.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Velasquez.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Carr.
I vote aye.
Okay, just in case, because I don't see Councilmember Juan. Okay, by a vote of 16 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and no abstentions, both items have been adopted by the committee. Mr. Chair, you can close at your convenience.
Okay. Yeah, with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.